angles, lighting, and camera quality and all that matters way more than what we think it does. Now, why am I talking about this? And this is kind of like a different video because, I do make a lot more like positive stuff, to be honest. But this is kind of different because I kind of thought about this because I'm going into the salon like a few weeks to get this stuff chopped off and, everything. And I kind of really think like every time I go in the salon, like, and when I first initially go in, my hair always looks like ass, kind of like it does now. And I need like a haircut really bad and just look like shit. But then the moment I sit in that seat, I look in the mirror. I just look like a completely different person, like majestic, beautiful. Hair's looking nice, even though it's like this shit. And it's just crazy. And it kind of opens up your mind to like, man, lighting and all that stuff really does matter a lot more than what we think it does. So like every time you see like your favorite like influencer, like you're scrolling on TikTok, you see like some crazy like physique or some like supermodel or something, you gotta understand this too. They got like the best makeup on, they got the best camera quality, the best angles, everything. No, I'm not gonna lie, supermodels are supermodels. They're supermodels for a reason. They have a unique look. They look better than most people. That's just the reality of it. But I'm just here telling you that don't get like discouraged by these things when you see them on like social media. Like social media shows you the rarities of the world and makes you think that's how it is when you walk outside every day. And that's just not. But here's another thing I want to tell you. That people perceive you so much differently than how you perceive yourself. So like everybody, no matter if you're a supermodel or not, or you're the best looking man in the world or woman in the world, everyone has their days where they're like, man, I don't look good today. Like, man, why do I look like this in this photo? Why do I look like this in this video? Why do I look so ugly? Like, and it's because we're simply just our own harshest critics. Like I've had times where people look at me and be like, you look fine in the photo. I don't know where you see what's wrong with it. And then me, I'll be like, man, but it's little, my eyes like slightly closed and the other one's slightly bigger than the other. And it's stupid stuff like that we get so caught up in. And the reality is it doesn't even really matter. I mean, now am I going to sit here and say looks don't matter? No, looks matter. I'm not going to lie to you. Like it's just the truth. Like people are attracted to what they are attracted to. Now, you also have to understand that looks are subjective as well. So you could be the ugliest person in the world to me, but the woman down the street over there might think that you're the greatest looking dude on the planet. Or if you're a woman, I might think you're the ugliest woman on the planet, but the guy down the street thinks you're the best looking woman on the planet. So you also have to understand that looks are subjective. So don't get so discouraged like when somebody's like, ooh, you're ugly, or ooh, you don't look good, or you're not my type. That kind of stuff. Like it hurts our egos in a sense, but there's somebody out there for you, I promise. Don't get so caught up in it. Like, you got the whole looksmaxing thing that started a long time ago. And I feel like it's actually good in a sense, but it got so weird like the past year. People are talking about like angles and stuff. Like I never even knew this was called a gonial angle. I don't even know. I mean, they should have just stuck to like diet, nutrition, gym, skincare, brush your teeth, like simple stuff like that. Now they're talking about you need to get surgeries and shit. Like, no, do not do that. Like you can change so much just from simply taking care of yourself, eating the right foods, being active, all that kind of stuff. Lifting weights, things like that. Simply enjoying your life, because stress makes you look worse than if you aren't stressed. So if you're enjoying your life and you're happier as a person, you're happier as an individual, you might look better than most people, because if you're not really stressed all the time, then that stress isn't going to wear off on how you look. If you are getting good sleep, that high sleep quality is going to show in your looks. So, but there's things like right now I got this like raccoon thing going on, and I got these spots on my neck, and I might sit here and tell myself that I'm the ugliest thing in the world, but you might not even notice if I never pointed it out. So it's just that simply like people perceive you so much different than what you think, and everybody's kind of like, oh, that's kind of bullshit. It's not, because like we ourselves are our harshest critics. So we'll look at every individual detail and overanalyze and pick it apart until there's nothing left. And the person that's right across from you, just the only thing they notice is your nice smile, or man, you got a nice haircut, or you have nice eyebrows, or you got really pretty eyes, things like that. And yes, are you gonna have a few bad apples where the people are like pieces of shit and they're just like, they're calling you ugly and they're pointing out every little mistake in you? And yeah, you're gonna have those people, but that's life, man. Really, that's honestly just how it is. But don't let that like one person be like, oh, this is how everybody sees me. No. In fact, even if you are, like, let's say you were holding the Guinness World Record books of being the ugliest person in the world, or even the most beautiful person in the world. Let's say you're holding Guinness World Record, like it's statistically shown. I guarantee there's still someone out there that would look at you and be like, oh, he's not that bad. Or you'd be the most beautiful person in the world, and there's still someone out there and be like, man, he looks ugly. How is he the most, things like that. So you gotta understand, like, in no way, shape, or form is everyone going to think you're good looking, and not in no way, shape, or form, not everyone's going to think you're bad looking. Doesn't matter how ugly, how average, or how attractive you are. Like, people have, like, I know people are like, oh yeah, you're just not my type, and they use that as a way to kind of just like reject you. But there is seriously like a type in people. Like, there's been girls I've seen that they weren't bad people. They're not ugly, but I'm just not attracted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like those people that are like, okay, objectively, she's good looking, but subjectively, not my thing. Like, I've met those people. Good, great people, nice to be around, just not my thing. And that's okay. People do have a type. Like, and I'm not talking about like blonde or brunette. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, simply just looking at the person, you'll be like, yeah, I can admit she's good looking, but I don't know, something's just not for me, And that does happen a lot, actually. So, yeah, really the whole point of this video is just to just kind of explain how, don't get so caught up in, like, in that emotion of, man, I'm so ugly. Man, and don't do the opposite either. Like, don't be like, man, I'm just so good looking. Like, I'm so much better than everybody on this planet. Like, oh my, like, don't do that either. Like, that shit's annoying. And honestly, if you tell yourself that all the time, it will eventually start going into your actions. Start treating people like shit because your ego is so high above everybody else's that you just think that you're above everyone. And that's not good either. But now, am I going to sit here and say that understanding that you are good looking is a bad thing? No, it's not. It is not a bad thing. To sit there and be like, you know what, I can admit I'm objectively pretty good looking person, or whatever, or I would say I could pole, or whatever the hell you want to say. Like, it's okay. Like, in my shoes, right? Like, people comment about my looks all the time. I get approached in public, people ask me if I model, stuff like that. Like, it happens. I'm not saying it's to boost my ego. It's just, this is truly the stuff that I hear. And like, I know I'm a good looking person, but there's some people that say stuff and they make it sound like I'm like top tier and I'm like a supermodel or something. I've literally talked to my parents about this. I've been like, I've always known that I was like, I would say I'm above average, but I never really knew I was at that level. Like, because some people will explain like I'm the greatest looking person of all time, and that just goes right there. That proves that somebody thinks I'm the best looking person they've ever seen. Others think that I'm the ugliest piece of shit on this planet. Now, me, what do I think? I think I'm a good looking dude. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like sugarcoat it and be like, oh, I'm so ugly, I'm like a 2 out of 10. Like, no, I can't really give a number to myself, and I'm not going to. I'm not gonna rate myself. But when I say I'm above average, yeah, I would say I'm above average. I can confidently say that. But like, so if you ever catch yourself like being like, you know what, I'm not a bad looking girl, or I'm not a bad looking guy. Like, when people start giving you shit because you just, like, obviously don't shove it down their throat that you're better looking or that you're good looking or whatever. But like, if the topic ever comes up and you're like, I don't think I'm bad looking, and people give you shit for that, they're just pissed off because they don't have any confidence in themselves. Now, don't be delusional. I'm not sitting here saying that you're like, maybe realistically you're like a 2. Not saying you are. I'm just saying, let's give an example. Let's say somebody did too. And they sit there and they act like, oh, I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm perfect. I don't care if you're a supermodel. You're not perfect. Everybody has imperfections. Like, I have this spot on my face. If I was a 10 out of 10, this wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be here. This haircut would be different. My skin would be completely clear. My teeth, oh, maybe it could be a little whiter, you know? Maybe my teeth could be a little whiter. Maybe my face wouldn't be so red. Like, I'm not a 10 out of 10. So, and there's no existing 10 out of 10. I don't care what anybody says. There's always going to be something that is unattractive in a sense, objectively, right? There's always something. I'm not saying, oh yeah, just look at everybody's individual mistakes. Like, no, that's weird too. But I'm just saying, like, it's okay to be confident in yourselves. Obviously, don't let it come off as, like, egotistical. It's all about how you say things, really. But don't also feel bad or, like, think you're a piece of crap because you're just somewhat confident. Like, you're just confident in yourself. Like, the way you walk, the way you talk, you are confident in your looks. And I feel like that's actually an attractive thing that people don't really understand. It's all about how you come off, though. Like, I've talked to people. I don't know what that was. That was a voice crack. But I've talked to people about this kind of stuff. And I've had the people where they treat me like shit because of it. But I've also had the people that treat me really well. And they're like, you know, I actually like how you talk about yourself. Like, you're actually, like, upgoing and lifting. And that actually kind of motivates people to be like, you know what? I'm not an ugly dude either. I'm not an ugly girl either. It kind of motivates them, or it opens up their mind to be like, you know what? It's okay to think higher of myself. It's not a bad thing. Not every little ounce of confidence is egotistical. It's just not how it is. Now, if I was sitting here and I was going, I'm better looking than you. I'm the best looking person on this planet. Nobody amounts to anything compared to me. I'm always going to be better looking than them. That's ego. But if I'm just sitting here, I'm like, you know, I can admit I'm a good looking dude. You know, I don't think I'm ugly. So I don't think I'm anywhere close to ugly. But I can admit I'm a good looking dude. Like, that's confidence. But if I'm sitting here cramming it down your throat that I'm just better than you, and I'm better looking than you, and there's nobody better than me, like, that's ego. So if somebody, I mean, like I said, it's all about how you say things. But I'm getting kind of off topic. I'm not making this video to boost my ego. I'm really not. It's just, I see comments on these videos. I see comments on my TikToks. People always comment on my looks. And so it kind of just gave me an idea that popped in my head. I was like, you know, I'll make a video on that. But lights and angle, all that stuff matters. Like, look right here. Boom. Like, I look paler for some reason. But when I have this on, it's different. So lighting matters. You know, angles, if I squint my eyes and I tuck my chin. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, angles and all that matter. And camera quality. Like, I'm recording this on an iPhone 11. So obviously it's not that greatest. But it's what I can do with. But yeah, all that stuff matters. And I think you just got to understand, though, that also in just real life, like, take away the angles and all that. In real life, people perceive you a lot better than what you think. Like, there's been times where I've been out in public, and, like, my parents even told me that I will have people just staring at me. Like, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. But I don't notice it in public. I really don't. Like, I'll go out, I'll be with friends, I'll be with family, and I always get a comment at least once by one of them being like, did you not see how people are just staring at you in public? And I was just like, no, didn't even notice it. That I wasn't paying attention. And I don't know what to do. I mean, what am I supposed to do? But no. That just, like, and these are sometimes on the days where I think I'm the ugliest thing in the world. And I'll go out and people just stare at me, and not in like a way, like in a good way. Now, I don't know because I don't pay attention, but according to what people have told me, it's in the better sense, right? But yeah, you just, like, you gotta understand, like, confidence is good. Now, ego, let's be honest, everybody has an ego to an extent, but don't let it, like, overcome your life. And don't worry so much about your looks. Like, yes, don't get me wrong, looks are important. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but don't let it overrun your life either. Like, if every little thing in your life is revolved around your looks, that's not good either. But if nothing if your looks just don't matter to you, you do not care about how people perceive you, that can also be a bad thing too. Like if you're going outside and like trashed up jeans that are just covered in mud and they're ripped up everywhere, and your shirt is all ripped up, and it's like your nips are showing, and your teeth are yellow, and like your hair is greasy and it's not clean, and like you just look unkempt and you smell bad. Like there's people out there that live like that, and that's not good either. So too much of just about anything in life is a bad thing. If I eat too many fruits, I can feel sick afterwards. So yeah, I'm making all this just to tell you that people perceive you a lot different than what you think. So if you're getting down on yourself about your looks, because this is, let's be honest, that's what most people get down themselves on about, just understand that, like, when you go out in public, people see someone completely different than what you do. They're not seeing every little flaw that you have. Like I said, this little spot, I noticed that, but you might not have noticed it. Oh, my hair is flat, or oh, my hair doesn't look good, but you might think my hair looks good. Like, it's just simple stuff like that, and we get so caught up in it. And you just gotta understand there's more to life than your looks. Obviously, keep working on them. It's a good thing to have good looks, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, honestly, your looks really come from just taking care of yourself. Like, think about it. If I was fat, would I have a jawline? Would I have a visible jawline? Would anybody be able to see that? No. If I never brushed my teeth, would I have white teeth? No. If I didn't get haircuts like at least every few months, or okay, I'm not gonna use that as an example, but if I didn't like wash my hair or take a shower, would I have, you know, not greasy hair? No, it'd probably be greasy. I probably would smell bad, you know, things like that. And honestly, generally just health in general is what's gonna make you look the best. Your skin's gonna look the best if you watch what you eat. If you watch what you put on your skin's gonna look the best. If you drink a lot of water, your skin's gonna look better. It all just, like, you are what you eat, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, health in general is that what's gonna make you the best looking, because that's gonna make you have muscle, be fit, active, because health is, you know, that's really what mainly shows about your looks. So like if you're like, man, how do I looksmax? Focus on your health. Like, you'll feel better, you'll look better, you'll just be more active, more energetic. Like, it's a good thing to get into. So maybe just use it as a video to start, like, working on your looks, just start being healthy. And through health, you'll just look better naturally, honestly. That's gonna be your best bet. Getting a little bit more sun than usual, drinking more water, eating more fruits, meats, healthy stuff like that. Like, that's the ultimate looksmaxing, taking care of your teeth. The whole, like, surgery thing, like, don't get to that point. It's just weird, and you're gonna regret it if you do end up doing it, honestly. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some people, like, they get nose jobs, and, like, do what makes you happy. I'm not, like, I can't run your life for you. Like, it's your life. But before you make those plastic surgery, like, decisions, don't make them, like, split-second decisions. Like, really sit there and think about it, because you're infusing your body with some, like, weird chemicals and stuff that can create a lot of health issues. And that's what I'm saying. Like, before you do anything crazy like that, I'd say really just focus on your health first. Get that locked down for a while, and then see how you look afterwards. And if you look good, then forget about the whole surgery. Surgery should be your last decision, not the first. So, I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, but the whole point of this video is people perceive you way differently than what you think. You know, lighting, angles, all that crap really matters a lot more than what we would imagine, right? Especially in camera stuff. Now, in real life, yeah, it matters, but not so much to the extent. But that's really it, you know? Work on yourself. You'll look better, be healthier. People think higher of you than you think of yourself, even if you are confident. Because even if you're confident, you're still going to have the days where you're looking down on yourself, whether that's in your looks, in the gym, or, you know, in your goals. There's always going to be those days that creep up on us that we're like, I don't look that great. You know, things like that. Or, I didn't read today. I'm a piece of shit. Like, things like that. And I'm just here to tell you that people do perceive you differently. Like, you're probably doing more than what 99% of the population does. So, good on you. I wish you the best. And just live life. Other than that, life isn't too short to make a change.